All right, we are good to go.
Thank you, Gable. Thank you, Town of Dayton residents. This is the Town of Dayton Planning Board public hearing / regular meeting at the Old Town Hall, upper level, 1111 Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Massachusetts, 02715, Wednesday, June 16th, 2021 at 6 p.m. This is a public meeting being video and audio recorded for a cable broadcast. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. If everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
members. I'd like to enter, Mrs. Easterday.
Yes, I just need you to state for the record that you and Vice Chair Robert Woods will be attending remotely.
Yes, let the record reflect that 3 members are present. Due to the old COVID restrictions, we are having a dual meeting via Zoom and live, and Mr. Robert Woods and Chairman Rhines are doing this meeting via Zoom. Gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to confirm the next meeting date of July 21st of 2021.
I'll second it.
Motion been made. We'll give it a second.
Roll call.
Motion been made and second. Any further discussion on the next meeting date of July 21st of 2021? Hearing none, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods.
Aye.
Clerk Figueredo.
Aye.
Member Cavallo.
Aye.
Member Cunha.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to move on to agenda item number 4B. And as the public hearing continues for Forest Hills Estates, special permit conservation subdivision, 0 Forest Street, map 3, lot 28, 33, and 78. We received a communication from the applicant. I'll read as follows. This was dated on Tuesday, June 15th. Kerry, please consider this as the applicant's request for and consent to a joint request for continuance of this matter to July 21st of 2021. Thank you and the board for your time and attention to this matter. Best Joshua W. Glass, Apex Companies, 100 Main Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 02860, telephone number 401-729-7219, fax number 401-729-7215. Gentlemen, before we accept the continuance, I need to read another motion. Give me a second, I'm just pulling this up on my phone right now. Sorry about the delay. Gentlemen, I'm going to entertain a motion to accept and continue the public hearing for Forest Hills Estates Special Permit Conservation Subdivision to Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, 6 p.m. at the Dayton Middle School, 1250R rear, Somerset Avenue. Again, that is July 21st of 2021, 6 p.m. at the Dayton Middle School, 1250 rear, Somerset Avenue, Dayton, Mass.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, gentlemen, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods.
Aye.
Clerk Figueredo.
Aye.
Member Cavallo.
Aye.
Member Cunha.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're now going to move on to agenda item number 4B, and as the review, discuss, and act on the Anton Roderick Form A application for 710 Hart Street, 20 lot 100. Now, gentlemen, in the package you did receive these schematics, the drawings, the intimate drawings from Tony's engineer, and I know the lot itself, I know the area, I've been up there many times. I know that, Mr. Roderick is in the midst of making improvements at that location right now as we speak to the neighborhood. So, I think the plan looks great. I'm going to entertain any thoughts or comments that the members have at this time.
Is there a possibility you could kind of brief us in what you're proposing here, please?
Of course. Would you like me to go to
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
I didn't realize. I'm so sorry.
don't worry, I'm used to it.
Your wife got to you or something?
Yeah.
I had to do that.
It's too easy. For the record, Niall Zager from Zenith Consulting Engineers. We're here before you for a Form A plan off of 710 Hart Street. Currently, it's I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's like an 11 acre parcel? Roughly. 12, thank you. 12.3 acre parcel. And, actually, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. So it's about a 12.3 acre parcel. There's an existing barn on the property as it exists. The majority of the property is a field with woods beyond the wetland line in the rear of the property. What we're looking to do is we're looking to split off one Form A lot. Is designated as Lot 1. It's approximately 35,140 square feet with 175 feet of frontage. There's no wetlands on the property at all as far as the new lot is created, that is concerned. We are showing the 100 by 100 foot box that's required by zoning as well. And we believe we meet all the zoning and Form A requirements. It is on a public way known as Hart Street, and we believe it. So again, we believe this is not subdivision approval is not required in this situation. So be happy to answer any questions that the board has.
Just real quick, is there a particular reason why you chose that corner there? I guess that's the southwest corner? Southwest corner.
The southwest corner.
Southeast corner.
It,
A lot. On that entire 12.3 acres.
why it shows this corner parcel here?
Yeah, is it at the, oh, sorry. Is there a reason why you've chosen the southeast corner to put the 100 foot by 100 foot plot where you're planning on putting the home?
Yes, because potentially there might be room for future development down the line.
Okay.
But for now, this, again, this is not only that, but there's potential for tying in water on Hart Street. So this would be the shortest distance to get to that point.
Okay, I'm just talking about the entire frontage of the whole lot here. This, because you're proposing subdividing, well, not subdividing, you're proposing this particular plot here on this entire 12.3 acre lot. I'm just wondering along east and west why that was chosen. Obviously, there's a barn there, so you wouldn't go there, but I just didn't know if there's any particular reason why there and not anywhere else along Hart Street.
Yeah, it just makes the most sense for the property at that spot.
Okay.
And we were able to get a perk test in that spot for Board of Health as well, so.
Okay, so
there
there's
was
existing work that's already done, so it's advantageous to go there.
That is correct.
Got it, okay.
What is the overall frontage on this property here, right now?
175.
The total of the property?
Oh, overall, sorry.
The overall?
Hold on, I can give you a rough idea. Approximately 640 feet.
640.
Yeah.
So you're proposing the 175 from
Southeast corner.
southeast corner back, so there's water, so you are allowed to do the 175. Okay.
Any questions, Chris?
You own this right now, right?
I mean, it seems to check the boxes, I would, Now, do any of those parameters change if other houses come into play on that land?
If other houses,
Yeah, down the line.
no, as long as he built within the 35,000 square feet.
Yeah, Mr. Figueredo, once it triggers the 35,000 square feet, it's gonna have to go to stormwater. The stormwater committee will take a look at it, and, they'll have to, get another set of plans, engineering plans for the stormwater committee, I believe.
Yeah, that's on the bylaws, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe
I mean,
that
you're-
a site plan was already drawn and submitted to the Board of Health and has been approved. So,
It's been approved. What did Stormwater Committee have any?
so the total lot area is 35,000, but the actual disturbed area was under 30,000 square feet. So that, I don't believe it actually required it.
Well, we'll check into that just to make sure to get back to the applicant. I may be incorrect in what I said, but I believe it's, I think he's correct. It's 4 houses or less. If there's a 35,000 square foot disturbance, then it triggers the stormwater committee.
Okay, but right now, before us is just the one lot, so it's a good question. Just want to look at it,
Yeah.
look forward-linking, future leaning to understand what happens later, but for the time being, I don't have any concerns about what's being proposed here.
Yeah.
You guys?
Likewise.
Is the barn gonna remain on that property, or are you taking it down, or? It's gonna stay there.
Any other questions from the board members?
Oh, I'm all set.
Trouble hearing. I had a lot of trouble hearing the gentleman at the podium. I couldn't hear a word he said. Will this lot be further subdivided, or is this being sold as one lot?
It potentially will be further subdivided down the road, but as of right now, it's only going to be this lot.
I couldn't hear him, so.
It's potentially going to be subdivided in the future, but right now, it's only the one lot. Woody?
Did you,
All
what
right,
did,
so you did catch that, Mr. Woods said that, the property could be subdivided, but you're just looking for one lot right now at this time.
Okay, that's just what I wanted to know.
good.
I've personally had a good look at the plans. They do fit the criteria that are under our bylaws. And, I'll give it to the board's discretion if anyone would like to make a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second that motion.
The motion will remain to accept the Anton Roderick Form A application for 710 High Street, map 20, lot 100. Any further discussion on the matter? Hearing none, gentlemen, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods?
Aye.
Clerk Figueredo? Aye. Mr. Cavallo?
Aye.
Mr. Cunha?
Aye.
Chairman Rhines? Aye. Gentlemen, let's move on to agenda item number 4C, and that's to review, discuss, and act on the Anton Roderick Form A application for 0 Brook Street, map 16, lot 24.
Busy time.
Makes it easy. I'll make it work.
Thank you, Kerry. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Again, for the record, Niall Zager from Zenith Consulting Engineers, here before you for a property off of Brook Street, also known as Aubrey Lane. So basically, what Mr. Roderick was looking to do here is he has come to an agreement with the current owner, Mr. Reed, of Reed Family Trust, to split off a approximately 2-acre parcel on his property. And that's going to be later, we're designating that as parcel A on the plan. The remaining land is parcel B, which is approximately 14.61 acres. That parcel A, the intent that Mr. Roderick is looking to do is to combine that with his existing property at, off of William Street. That is to combine it with a parcel that will be coming in front of the board at a later time. So again, it's a very simple, create a parcel for deed purposes and purchasing from Mr. Roderick, from the Reed family to Mr. Roderick. So again, we're not creating a buildable parcel here. We're just doing a transfer of land. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board has.
So it's parcel A being combined with parcel B?
No, that's it. So parcel A and parcel B as it exists
Yes.
are currently one parcel.
Got it.
The parcel A is going to be combined with, if you see the now formerly Roderick parcel, it would be the northwest portion of the property, there, where the north arrow is.
Yes.
That would be the parcel that this will be combined with. That's the intent of this plan.
What's the reason for combining these?
To give him enough area to potentially have a retreat lot on the, the board has already granted one retreat lot, on the parcel.
To the west of this, yes,
That,
right?
that is correct. That is correct. We are gonna be potentially coming back in front of the board for another retreat lot. Gives him enough area to be able to create that parcel.
And the frontage is gonna be off of where?
The frontage will be off of William Street.
Is this where you're trying to combine your?
Sorry, I'm sorry, could you have the engineer repeat that answer? I'm having a tough time hearing.
The frontage will be off of William Street.
Okay, that was gonna be my question. Thank you, Mr. Figueredo, for pointing that out.
So right now, the way this is laid out, you've only got a 20-foot wide access to the north of that other Roderick property. Is there an intention to talk to the abutter to get the other 20-foot on Audrey? So you get 40 feet?
He actually has 40
Williams?
feet. I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize. I
No,
didn't
go
mean to
ahead.
interrupt
Go
you. He actually has 40 feet on William Street of access. It's not shown here because it's way off the property.
Right.
But yes, he has potentially 40 feet there. Again, we'll be coming back in front of the board on that under a special permit
Right.
for the retreat lot. But that's the intent.
Right, but as I understand it, because he has, on that other property, he has 40.
That's
So you're
correct.
not relying on the division of Audrey right now, that wouldn't affect you?
That is correct. This is just to show what's currently there. But yeah, no, we are not, again, we're not showing any frontage as far as we're not trying to claim any frontage because
Yeah,
it's
it's
not,
further down the road.
that's correct.
Okay, understood.
Do you
Any
presently
members
own
have
this?
any other questions of the engineer?
Go ahead. Can you repeat that, Mr. Rhines?
I think he wants his response.
Do any of the members have any other questions of the engineer?
I'm still thinking. Can you see the smoke?
Need some animation icons.
So this lot that, I guess we'll call it the narrow part of parcel A abuts to the lot that you're trying to combine with.
Yes, sir.
That lot goes all the way to Williams?
That's correct.
So, okay, and then there's a house, yeah, yep. I just didn't know if that was a separate lot or that's the house. That was my,
So basically, the reason for you to come before us today is
opens up.
so that you can purchase it, or,
That's correct. He needs to be able to create a parcel that he can create a deed for to purchase from the Reed family. And to do that, the only way to really do that is to go through the Form A process. So that's correct. And then what will happen is a plan will be created on the retreat lot to combine and show all the parcel in its entire, its entirety, excuse me, showing all the, the total 8 acres plus of land that's required for the retreat lot.
because Form As are, you have to have the frontage to an existing road.
That's correct. We're not creating a buildable lot. And I believe we submitted.
I understand, so what's the purpose of you, of us voting on any of this, since you're not asking for frontage, you're not asking for a Form A, you're just purchasing land, you can do that all day long without us voting on it.
I believe that the board has to approve it under it's not being a subdivision of land It doesn't necessarily, I believe, I forget the name of it, but I believe I also
A&R.
submitted some documentation of some case law that was in effect regarding this as well.
You're talking about A and R?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. Because you can create
Yeah, it was an
parcels.
appeals court.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rhines?
Yeah, it was an appeals court decision that was rendered on a case similar to this.
Yeah, it's in your packet.
That was put into the packet.
I know when I read this application, first thing I thought was, I have no idea what he's trying to do.
Okay.
Because it doesn't explicitly say what you're trying to do. So it's good that you're able to explain that. I don't know if it matters in the application process, if the verbal fills in the gaps.
Yeah, there's not really a spot on your application that is applicable to this situation. That's why I hand wrote in that case law and I wrote in where it is applicable.
Got it.
So that is why, and I agree, that is a little bit confusing.
Right.
And we do have the statement, the purpose statement on the A&R plan as well, stating the creation of this parcel A and B and the combination of parcel A to the now formerly Roderick parcel.
Where's that language? It's on the plan?
Yeah, the language, gentlemen, the language is in your packet. I'll read the section that was highlighted. It was a Superior Court judge's decision determining that the plaintiff's plan cannot be considered to be a subdivision plan within the meaning of General Laws, Chapter 41, subsection 1L, because the parcels that were listed are not buildable lots, and that the plan, therefore, is entitled to an A&R endorsement. Now, this is directly from the appeals courts. There's been a couple of decisions that have been rendered on this also that were presented by the applicant. So at this point, gentlemen, I do believe because of law that was granted in a prior case that we're in a position of not having the capabilities to reject, if I'm using the proper terminology.
Yeah, we're not considering rejecting, we're just trying to wrap our heads around what's going on here, that's all.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah, no, I understand, absolutely understand.
Yep.
Hey, why don't we take this under advisement and have our attorney look at it?
From what I'm told by my opinion, the only way you can combine two parcels under one deed is to go through an A&R plan so it can be endorsed by you people.
that's gotta be something new, because I've never seen anything like that. And honestly, I
It is
kind of,
confusing, I'll tell you that.
I'm sorry?
It is confusing, because I question
Yeah,
about it.
I actually agree with Woody on this. If you want to clap Woody, you can, because I usually don't agree with you, but I honestly agree with him on this. I just don't feel comfortable voting on it the way it is here. That's my, but I'm only one member, so.
I'll make a motion
Mr.
to take agenda item C under advisement for legal counsel review.
I'll second that. And
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods,
Aye.
Clerk Figurito,
aye.
Member Gonzalo,
Aye.
Member Cunha.
Aye.
Mrs. Easter Day, we're going to have to see what we have coming up on a further agenda, because we're on a summer schedule when we have the capabilities to fit Mr. Roderick in, so I am sure that you will be in contact with him.
Yes, we can put it on before the Forest Hills matter on July 21st.
Is That would be absolutely perfect. So, gentlemen, I'm going to entertain a motion to continue this matter to July 21st at 6 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made, is there a second? And second, and any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods,
I'll sign this, clerk.
Clerk Figurito,
Aye.
Member Cavallo,
Aye.
Member Cunha,
Aye.
Chairman Ryan, aye. Thank you, Mr. Roberts, for coming in, and your engineer, and we'll see you guys on the 23rd of July. Mr. Zucchi, our office manager, will be in contact with you, Tony,
That's a really
for
weird
anything
one.
you need, so.
That was really weird.
Same thing.
I felt the same way.
No, but I
It's
mean,
unusual.
the pen is the same, or is it?
We don't have to come by later and sign.
Nope.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Nope, you're here now.
Blue pen or black pen? Black?
Black. I'm gonna use my permanent pen.
Sign under his eyes.
So, gentlemen, I'm going to move on to, if everybody is ready, just let me know when.
I'm ready.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, gentlemen, you have to sign Mr. Roberts' first set of plans. I see 3 of the members there signing. Mr. Woods and I will sign at a later date.
You can only take one line.
Yeah, have a courier, but
John Hancock.
Yeah, I can send it over by courier pigeon. There you go.
yeah.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna take this with me, 'cause I wanna read through that.
That's fine. That's what it's for. Okay.
You saving it for
We're
next
ready,
time?
Mr. Rhines?
You saving these for next time?
Gentlemen, I'd like to move on to agenda item number 4B. I'm sorry, 4D, and that is the informal presentation and discussion with a representative from Mara Grow, Irie Cannabis Cultivation and Manufacturing at 620 Spring Street. If you please identify yourself with your name and your address.
Would you like us to move her so they can hear? Because they're having a hard time hearing. Is the only audio pickup for them right here?
It's actually out of the TV.
Oh, really? No, for them to hear her.
For them to hear her.
Yeah, they should be able to, there should be a clicker on the table somewhere.
Oh, I didn't realize you had that hooked in. Yeah, that is where everything.
That's it right there? All right, we're gonna move your podium.
Slide that over for sure.
Yeah, there should be a clicker on the table where you should be able to turn on to get somebody else in, I think.
Oh, wow.
So they can hear.
And then if you can put, Dave, do you want to put that podium?
Wasn't here?
That one, that microphone is for our system, and then that one is for Zoom. It's,
Perfect, thank you. No, that's all right. Two mics,
but
makes
this
sense.
is the one that will upload to YouTube.
Roger that.
Yeah.
Can you just do a test real quick so they can hear you?
Hello, can you hear me?
When you start talking, the camera will zoom to you at some point.
Just double check with them, you should be all set.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta talk, it'll go over.
Okay. My name is Kaylee Hepburn, and I'm here for Marigrow LLC. They're looking to open a cultivation and manufacturing facility for cannabis at 620 Spring Street in Dayton. So we started the process so far. We have our community outreach meeting on the 30th of this month, and we're working with Mike Mullen for our HCA. I came here today just to give you a brief introduction to the project and talk to you about the buffer zones, because they're waivable, but we wanted to get your opinion on whether or not you'd be amenable to waiving them at the special permit hearing down the line. So the project is going to be done in 2 phases. The first phase will be 15 to 20,000 square feet with 7,500 to 10,000 square feet of canopy, and phase 2 will double that. So under the CCC rules, they'll start with a tier 2 and then move up to a tier 3. They haven't started the design yet, but we're working with BKA Architects, who's working with Pure Oasis, who also is looking to go in the same building. The building's 500,000 square feet, and it has multiple industrial tenants already, so you you won't be able to see the facility from the outside. There's plenty of parking. You don't need any new parking spaces. You shouldn't even know that the company is in the building. The reason that we're here today is to talk about the buffer zone early in the process before we get the design really going. So your bylaws ask for 1,000 feet buffer between every marijuana establishment in town. So we're thinking that that would be between different buildings. So these two companies are going to be within the same huge building. There's not going to be multiple buildings up and down the street.
Mr. Rhines?
He was muting his microphone.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's it.
No, go ahead, young lady. No, continue, please.
Okay. They also want a quarter mile from any marijuana establishment to any playground in town. And a little over 1,000 feet, there's a playground owned by the town of Dayton. That's from the property line, so I'm not sure how far it would be from the actual facility within the building. They're going to be in the back of the building somewhere, so you won't be able to see it from the street. You'll have no access to it. These provisions are both waivable according to your bylaws and according to the town attorney. I think Carrie had sent an email to the town attorney asking whether or not you were allowed to waive these provisions, and she said that you can. The main things from your bylaws that you'd be looking at would be security and prevention of diversion to minors. So I made you guys a little sheet with some highlights from the security plan and from the diversion prevention plan. And the second sheet there is a map showing the 300 feet property.
So, gentlemen, I'd just like to say, as she's passing out the information, is that at town meeting, we recently passed the CCC update to the regulations of a situation like this where you have a facility where they want to cultivate and manufacture, but they have the capabilities to transfer but not sell to the general public. So
Right.
this would be a situation where you would have two cannabis facilities possibly at the same location, and the second would require the waiver because they would be within the 1,000 feet of each other.
Well, close to that. So there's going to be two licensees. There'll be Marigrow, who's going to have two licenses. So they're going to have a cultivation and a manufacturing license. In the same building will be Pure Oasis, and they'll also have their own licenses from the CCC. So two separate entities will be in the building with more than two licenses, but two different companies.
Yes, correct, but that's what triggers, that is what triggers the waiver on our end.
Yes.
Is because you have two businesses operating in the same building within 1,000 feet of each other.
Right.
So that's one of the caveats. So I just want the members to be alerted to that fact.
Yep.
Now, I just have a question. Is Marigrow an entity from Canada?
From Canada? No, they're local to Massachusetts.
Okay, so I'm looking at the wrong Marigrow that I see when I Google it on my phone then.
No, it's a new company, so you can get it. I can send you some of the organization documents. It's an LLC that's based in Massachusetts.
Springfield.
Okay, so you guys are based out of
West Springfield's
West Springfield?
West Springfield is where I'm from. I'm their attorney.
Okay. And the business operations themselves, where are they located from?
What town are you in? Westminster.
Westminster.
Right.
Okay. Continue, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I was going through the different provisions that you guys would look at if you were going to waive these requirements. The two big ones seem to be the security of the building and how we're going to prevent diversion of the product to minors. So I brought with me, in addition to this, I have the full security plan summary and the prevention plan if you want to look at it. But mostly, the security plan is very strict based on the state, and we'll work with the Dayton Police Department to go through camera placement and things like that. You're not eligible for a license unless you have gone through the Cannabis Control Commission's really strict policies. So there's identification requirements to get in the building. You can't get into the access area of the actual facility unless you've shown identification showing you're over 21. There's video surveillance, 24-hour recordings, an uninterruptible power supply with backup for all the cameras, commercial-grade locks. The alarm system's monitored continuously by two different companies. There's procedures in place for training for your employees, how you dispose of any kind of waste, transportation to and from the facility, and then you have to have a security audit every 30 days. So they're very secure facilities, and I know that's one of your main concerns in having them close together and close to other protected entities. The second part is how we're going to keep the product out of the hands of minors. The first way is what I was talking about with the identification to get in the building. The second would be you train your staff in how to not let the product get in the hands of minors. You comply with metric seed to sale. So from the time you have a seed in a pot until the time you sell it off property, you've tracked that seed and its weight all the way through its growth cycle. So as soon as, if there's any weight missing, you know it right away. You have to, based on the state regulations and the computer system that they have, you type everything into. So as soon as you know there's product missing, you can figure out where it went, and you have an immediate reporting and termination policy in place too for any agent that diverted product. There's also a secure transportation plan. The product leaves the facility in Sprinter vans unmarked, and all marketing is geared toward people over 21. And then to protect the abutters, we want to make it clear that you won't be able to see the facility from the outside. You're not allowed by state law to be able to see any cannabis from the windows or anything like that. And it's going to be within that building. There'll be no additional parking created, no retail, which means no public access, so only the employees of the facility will be there. There's not big signs saying cannabis dispensary here. It's just a unmarked cultivation and processing facility. There shouldn't be any vehicle trips that are increased more than a regular industrial tenant in that building. And it's, like I said, it's all in secure Sprinter vans, they're unmarked, and there's no public access. So we just wanted to get your feeling on whether or not you'd be amenable to waiving those buffer requirements before we go through and get a formal design done.
One of the things that you said in the very beginning was that we wouldn't even see this from the road or the abutters.
Right.
The question is, what about the odor, the smell?
That's a big question. So the odor is always a question that comes up. There'll be carbon filters that control the odor coming in and out, so they'll be controlled as much as possible. There's also, I don't know exactly how this works, but there's a system with air pressure inside the building to prevent air from escaping as much as you can. So they have lower pressure in certain rooms and higher pressure in other rooms slightly to keep control of the odor, plus the carbon filters.
So that should not be an issue.
It shouldn't be. That's the goal, is to not have it be any issue. We don't want it to be smelled from the outside at all.
If there are complaints, can you do anything about it?
There's lots of different types of odor control systems. So I don't know if there was be a complaint with the carbon system, which is used throughout the country and is usually pretty effective. You could look into other types of systems, but I think that the carbon control would be sufficient. And I can give you examples from around the country and from in the state, what they've been using for different facilities.
We'll take samples to nominally.
Everyone wants samples.
Hey, David wanted some too.
Gentlemen, I have a quick question of the applicant, potential applicant. Where's your discharge of your nutrients going to take place?
In the water, you
It's
mean?
going to be 100 pounds of the ground, correct?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part.
She couldn't hear the last part.
The question is that where would your nutrients be discharged into?
So the water systems you're talking about? So by state law, any pesticides, you can't use any pesticides on the plants, so any nutrients or pest control has to be on the list of what the EPA calls a deemed safe product. So it's things like garlic and peppermint. You can't use something that you buy out of the hardware store with, pest control killers in it or anything. It has to be something that's on that list from the EPA. So that's the first line of defense there. The second is that the water will be a reverse osmosis water filtration system. So it collects and filters and reuses as much of water as it can. The rest of it, it'll either be put in tight tanks and hauled off site or some other form that's acceptable to the board. Water control is a big issue in pesticides and odor. Those are the three main topics people want to talk about.
Correct. So, gentlemen, I just want you to be aware that in hydroponic grows, from my knowledge, is that they are all interdispersible, where I mean is that the contents of the water continues to flush and is filtered out, and the nutrients are captured, or any discharge that you would not want to have. So it's all internally based, and they'd only be discharging probably minimal water into the local system.
Right, they want to reuse it as much as possible. So that filtration system is, I think some of them are up to 80% of the water you can turn around and use again. and that's beneficial to everyone. The operator's gonna save them money, it's gonna save the town water, it saves everything. So a good water filtration system is key.
I have a couple questions.
I personally, gentlemen, I'm sorry, go ahead. If any other member has any questions of the applicant at this time, go right ahead. Or
Yeah,
potential applicant, I mean.
it's me, Mr. Rhines, Jeff. So I'm just trying to understand your mitigation plan here. So, you're obviously not a retail store, it's not a storefront, you're not
Right.
selling to people walking in on the street. And from the recent ZBA, change at the annual town meeting, not ZBA, the
So, the zoning
bylaws, we changed the
definition.
bylaws and how we handle,
The delivery.
the delivery methods were updated. So at no point is anybody going to come into your stores. I'm confused by number one, ensuring that cannabis is accessible in your prevention to diversion to minors. Number one, ensuring that cannabis is accessible only to adults over age 21 and certified medical patients.
That is a little confusing in that point, you're right.
Right, so how is that ever a situation?
It wouldn't, so you can't come in off the street and buy it from this facility.
Okay.
That part is talking about when you're selling it, so you sell it either wholesale flower or you're selling manufactured products.
Got it.
And you make sure that your buyers are compliant with the law.
Okay.
So they're either gonna be selling it to, recreational users over 21 or medical patients.
Okay, so that's just making sure that you're interfacing with everybody who's on the up and up, so to
Right.
speak.
Is it possible to simplify that number one there?
It is. That's easy.
Okay, good.
And then you mentioned at the beginning that you're obviously in 170 there, right? That's where you are. You just mentioned the playground. Where's the playground on this map? Just
It's not on that 300 abutters list, it's on the 1,000 feet list.
Okay. on the
It's at,
playground.
It's right on
Zero
the
Prospect.
corner of School Street.
Yeah, it's further down here, right?
Huh?
Like down here.
It's over 1,000 feet.
So on the corner of School in Summer or School and Chase, in that area.
Yeah,
And I
School-
believe that
School-
it has been, linear footage from the playground itself to the immediate front door of 620 is beyond 1,000 feet, if I remember correctly.
It is,
I
it's a
believe it
little
has been
over.
done in the past.
Right, but the bylaw's a quarter mile.
Excuse me. That's not measured in feet, it's measured in distance, it's a quarter of a mile from a playground.
Right,
The 1,000 feet would be from one business to another business.
yes. So it's a little over 1,000 feet, but it's still on that
But
list.
then a lot of the questions that we're asking, you're providing us with answers would be answers that, in questions when you apply for the special permit. I think why you're here tonight is just to feel us out to see if we'd be amendable to a variance or a waiver. Am I correct?
That's right.
Waivers, right?
Waivers, yep.
Correct.
I have
We'll have all
I
these
have one more question. I do have one more question. I know we're going too far into the rabbit hole here.
They always do.
Yeah, so, no, just trying to understand. So Westminster, Mass, right? Do you have an existing business there, and what's the nature of that?
No, it's not,
There.
so that's just the place of business now. They don't have a signed lease with this facility right now, and they're in talks with getting an LOI and getting a lease together. So that's where the business is formed. It's formed there.
Okay, so it's a business office, it's not a product.
Right, so it'll be
location.
moved to 620 Spring Street.
And then, so you're not cultivating up in Westminster?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's all I have.
I have a couple.
Hey, gentlemen, I
Chris has a-
personally have looked at,
Tim,
Mr. Rhines, Chris has a question.
quick question. Sorry, just a few. Water source, I'm assuming Dayton Water?
I think it's on town water.
No, it's not Dayton Water.
It's not on town.
Water from the city of Taunton.
Taunton water. Okay.
North Dayton, right? Taunton Water.
North Dayton, so
Yep.
that comes from Taunton.
on water.
Taunton Water, Taunton Sewer, Taunton Electric.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. We were actually looking for that question, so thank you.
How many jobs are you looking at
We don't have a solid number on that yet.
fulfilling?
Right. There's no solid number there yet. Probably somewhere in the area of 10 to 20.
Yeah, I would say probably 5 to 10 start.
Somewhere around 10.
Okay.
And will you?
Suggested, young lady, just so you know, I will be in favor of your waiver.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank
He
you, Mr.
lives
Woody.
close by, that's why he wants samples.
Yeah.
And then,
So, gentlemen, we've had an opportunity to listen to Marigold's presentation. It's good that they're getting a lot of information out there now, so the public knows, and I'm sure that once they do have the capabilities possibly to come back to the town of Dayton, that they would give pretty much the same or a little bit more different information in regards to what they presented to us tonight. So I'm inclined to grant a waiver.
Well, I don't know if we're not voting on a waiver.
We're not voting on that tonight.
They're just
No, we're not
feeling
voting-
us
we're
out.
not voting on it, but I'm
They're just feeling us out tonight.
Informal. Gentlemen, this is just informal. I'm just, inclined to grant the
Well,
waiver.
You want to vote?
Well,
I mean,
you know, we could probably get a piece of paper and sign it somewhere, I'm sure.
I don't think so, I don't think so.
that's okay. That's good. That's all I was looking for.
Signature,
record.
just right,
This is good.
just get.
I think Chris has more questions.
I just had one last
If I may,
question.
please. My question is, Marigold, do you have any future plans to make a presentation to the Board of Selectmen in the town of Dayton?
Yes, so we're working with Mike Mullen to get our HCA going, and that will end up before the Board of Selectmen. We spoke to them briefly a couple weeks ago also.
Get it in quick.
Okay.
Go
Yeah,
for
you'll
it.
need to have a community outreach meeting. And
Yes.
then you'll have to have a community host agreement.
Yep, the outreach meeting is on June 30th by Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming out to see us tonight
Miss-
in Dayton.
Mr.
We
Rhines,
look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
Hold on, Chairman Rhines, Mr. Cunha
Yeah.
had one more question.
Site
Sure,
cleanup.
Mr. Cooney, go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Are there any plans to like renovate the exterior at all of the existing building or?
Not the exterior, it's a private building inside.
renovation to
Inside.
the,
Inside.
yeah, especially the infrastructure, like the mechanical system, et cetera.
Sure.
But yeah, so I think the building's in the process of being sold, so obviously we'll have to evaluate it once we determine a space that we're gonna be in. We'd have to take a look at the exterior and just see, yeah.
is there a buyer for that right now that you know of?
Yes, yeah, that's who I'm dealing with right now. I'm dealing with the existing building owner and the buyer,
Good luck.
so.
I guess unofficially, I would also support the waiver.
Great, thank you.
I as well.
Okay.
I'd just like to ask the Marigold representative that, what did you say your beginning square footage is gonna be, about 15,000 to possibly expand to 50? Is that what you said?
15 to 20 in phase one, and then an additional 15 to 20 in phase two.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Have a good night.
Gentlemen, I'd like to move on to agenda item number 5, and that is a motion to approve the minutes of the June 2nd of the 2021 meeting.
I'll make that Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion on the motion to accept the minutes of June 2nd, 2021? Hearing none, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods.
Aye.
Clerk Figueredo.
Aye.
Member Colalo.
Aye.
Sorry, I was smoking a cigarette, gentlemen. Member Junior.
Aye.
Sampling
smoking in the house.
marigold.
Yeah, I know.
He got his marigold sample in the mail
Gentlemen,
today.
thank you. Mrs. Easterday, any correspondence for this month?
No, there is not.
Seems really
Gentlemen, I'm
relaxed.
going to move on to public input. I just want to touch on just a few items that have been in our midst in Dayton that have recently come to our attention. Is that the Dover Estates situation off of Winter Street has been continued for another conservation meeting coming up, and also there was a continuation of the infiltration basin that was presented to the Taunton Conservation Commission for the Forest Hills Estate. So that'll be heard at a future Concom meeting sometime in July, I believe. And hopefully I'll be on my feet and ready to go, and I'll be attending if possible. I'd like to ask the members if you have anything on the public input, now's a great opportunity. Geez, don't be so quiet, gentlemen.
I'm good, I'm good.
All set.
Nadaki.
Nothing here, sir.
So, at this time, I just want to, remind the members that our next meeting is going to be the Forest Hills continuation at July 21st at the Dayton Middle School at 6 p.m. And Mrs. Easterday will have all of our packets, ready for our next meeting. Do we have, anything else on the public input?
No.
If not, I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion on adjournment? Hearing none, let's vote by roll. Vice Chairman Woods,
Aye.
Clerk Federico,
Aye.
Member Cavallo,
Aye.
Member Cunha,
Aye.
Chairman Rhines, aye. Good night, Cable. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful week.